Hello and welcome back to FM Scout. My name is Rhys, and coming up on today's show we've got 24 must-sign hidden gems and underdog players for your teams in Football Manager 2022 that'll cost you less than £10 million. So don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, and let's get straight into the video. We'll go from goalkeepers to strikers, and we've got two players for each position, one being the hidden gem, kind of wonder kid, and the other being a more senior player, although everyone is under 25, who can come in and kind of start for you in your team, right? So the 22-year-old Swedish goalkeeper here, Tim Ronning, he's got aerial reach of 17, reflexes of 14, determination of 14, position of 14 here in this save, and look at that jumping reach of 19. He's 6'7", which is an absolute monster. He'll cost you anywhere between 425 grand and 3.5 million pounds, and my scout here tells me he's a fairly consistent performer and enjoys big matches, which is huge, right, when you're looking into scouting players. Alexander Nubel then as the kind of more senior goalkeeper on the list today. Reflexes 16, rushing out 17. He's 6'4", natural fitness of 14, jumping reach of 15. But look at this, teamwork, composure of 15 as well. Nubel will set you back under 3.2 million pounds, which I think is an absolute steal, right? Andrea Carboni next. You can pick this 20-year-old Italian centre-back up for less than 6 million quid. Good at tackling, good at marking, good at heading, good at position. He's got everything you want, right? Look at these as well, which are important for centre-backs. Anticipation, bravery, composure, concentration, decisions. At 20 years old, to have those is very, very good. My scout tells me he's a consistent performer, has a balanced personality, is obviously really good in the air. This is a difficult one to pronounce, so I'm going to apologise in advance, but his name is Anil Amadozic, okay? He's a centre-back again, very good with his tackling and his marking and his heading. He's got those attributes though as well in the mental side of things. Bravery, composure, concentration, and decisions. He's a Bosnian guy. He's got 6'5" of height, which is good, and jumping reach of 15. My scout tells me that he'll cost you anywhere between 875 grand and 8 million quid, which is quite a large margin there. But look, he tells me also he's good in the air and enjoys big matches, which is important. Kaiki next. I want to say that's how you pronounce it. One of the best young centre-backs in the game. Keeps popping up for me all the time. You can get him for under 10 million. My scout here reckons between 9.4 and 14 million in this save. Tackling 14, marking 14. He's going to be absolutely fantastic, right? When we look at his scout reports, look, he's a fairly consistent performer and displays a fairly determined attitude. That is what you want. Do hit a like on the video, by the way, guys, if you're watching. Subscribe if you're new. If you like these kind of videos, I do them all the time over on my channel. The link will be down below. It's called FM Wonder Kids, youtube.com/FM Wonder Kids. We talk about Wonder Kids. Ruben Pulido next is very interesting. A 20-year-old Spanish player, tackling 17 already at 20 years old, and natural fitness 17 as well. His decisions maybe let him down a little bit there at 10, but with concentration 15, composure 14, and bravery of 13, as well as anticipation of 14, he doesn't disappoint in that area. Listen, my scout tells me he's good at marking, he can play in a couple of positions, and has a balanced and normal personality. That's good enough for me. This guy, you can pick him up for 3.9 million quid. Thomas Estevez, the 19-year-old Portuguese wonder boy. Stamina 14 and pace of 14 match his acceleration of 14 and agility of 14. Those are one of the most, or four of the most important attributes when it comes to fullbacks, in my opinion, right? You can see he's also got off-the-ball determination, so he's good going forward. Needs to learn the kind of defensive side of the game a little bit. 11 there for tackling, but like first touch and dribbling 12, pretty decent. Heading on into the scout report, my scout tells me obviously like he's got a fair amount of pace, can play in a couple of positions, and his acceleration underpins his overall speed. But look at his price. 1.2 million max in this save here. And we got Vanderson, right? I just love that name. Another right back, 20 years old this time, Brazilian. Look at that though, crossing 14, dribbling 14. It's not very often that you see a fullback who's got both of those, crossing and dribbling, because obviously you want both of those if possible. Acceleration, agility, balance, natural fitness, pace, stamina. This boy's got it, right? He's got it. And look how much you can get him for. Under 10 million quid. Can play in a couple of positions, possesses a fair amount of pace, and is a fairly consistent performer as well. Frederick Bjorkan next. Left backs we're on now. Again, crossing and dribbling, bubbling up there. 22-year-old Norwegian. There's a couple of Norwegians on this list today as well. But look at that work rate, teamwork, off the ball. Very good mentally. Get these guys fast, right? Because they do get snapped up by the big teams. I did a sim earlier and a couple of these guys getting picked up by Man United in the first week alone. Look at the pace on this guy as well. Pace, stamina, strength. Like, he's got fairly consistent performer in his scout report. Enjoys big matches as well. And look at that transfer value. 0. Alex Tierzich then comes in at left back as well. Acceleration 14, pace 14. He's only 21 years old. Work rate 13 here, concentration, bravery 13 as well. Looking at his scout report, again a fairly consistent performer, possesses a fair amount of pace and his acceleration underpins his overall speed. Transfer value anywhere between 900 grand and 7.5 million. Patrick Berg next, get hold of him fast. Look at these mentals, work rate 16, teamwork 17, positioning 17, determination 16, anticipation 16. Look at all these greens, natural fitness 18, ball winning centre midfielder. My reports tell me, look, he enjoys big matches. He's fairly adaptable when it comes to living in another country. He'd likely get a work permit here in England. He's a consistent performer. And look at that transfer value, anywhere between 600 grand and 7 million quid. Get him in quick. Jamie Sion next, another centre midfielder. This time we got passing and vision, right? Two absolute key stats, obviously, for the centre midfield. Work rate 15, first touch of 15, decisions of 15, flair, leadership 15. Just wait until these stats got one more, right? He's 24 years old, so he's not going to develop a huge amount. But if you can get these 15s up to 16, look how many there are of them. You'd be laughing. Between 6.8 and 10 million pounds you can pick Jamie up for. Aaron Molinas next. Look at those positions, right? It's a little bit odd. He's an attacking centre midfielder, but he can also play left midfield, right? Or right wing back. But look at these stats. Dribbling 15, first touch 14, passing 14. Look at that, teamwork 15, vision 14, decisions 14. He's a very good player. Look, my scout is telling me that you can pick him up between 875,000 and 8 million. He's a fairly consistent performer and would likely gain a work permit here in England, which is always handy. Sivert Mansvik next, and I apologise if there's any Norwegians watching. 19-year-old ball-winning midfielder. He's got the stamina, he's got the work rate, he's got the bravery and the aggression. My scout tells me you could pick him up anywhere between 41 grand and 4.1 million. And he's like a fairly consistent performer. The Holy Grail. Uriel Kelly next, and I really hope I got that right. Attacking midfielder left is his preferred position here, as well as centrally. But look at that, corners and crossing, right? It's really important, I think, to have at least one player in your squad that's good at set pieces. Ideally, you want him in your starting lineup every single week. And this Peruvian 19-year-old could grow into that player for you. You only have to play his compensation in terms of transfer value. My scout tells me he's good at taking set pieces. Obviously, we know this. He's a strong penalty taker. That's the set piece as well, right? And has a fairly determined attitude. Oh, wow. Okay, so this guy's name is difficult. I'm going to go with Ozame Shirao. Okay, and again, I apologise to any Norwegians watching. What I love about this guy is his passing and his vision again, right? 14 and 15. He can play centrally, he can play out on the left, he's right-footed. But look at that agility and balance as well. 18 and 16. My scout's telling me he's worth anywhere between 200 grand and 6 million here. He's a fairly consistent performer and displays a fairly determined attitude as well. Yerson Chacon next, right winger, left winger, he can do both. He's only 18 years old, he's from Venezuela, which is interesting. Flair of 14 and dribbling of 14 as well as balance. I mean, he's going to be a tricky winger, right? And you can see here his media description is winger. In terms of scout report, we can pick him up for less than £1 million apparently, and he's got a balanced and normal personality and would likely get a work permit, which is useful. Abdul Kadir Amur next. Passing 15, technique 17, vision 15. But look at that, flair 16, acceleration 16 and agility 16 as well. Right wing, left foot only, described as a winger, which is slightly odd because you would want him to be an inside forward, right? If he's left-footed and playing on the right. Get him for anywhere between 6 and 9 million, and my scout tells me he's a fairly consistent performer and also enjoys big matches. Casper Koslowski next, passing 14, long shots 13, First touch 12. He's only 17. He's going to be really good. Determination 16. Bravery 14. Just imagine what this guy's going to be like in the future. You can pick him up for under 3 million quid. He's a fairly consistent performer and is committed and always gives his all to the cause. Tiago Almeida, been around a few years in Football Manager now, but still very, very good. First touch 15, dribbling 14, an attacking midfielder who's going to provide the creativity for your team, I'm sure. Looking at the scout reports, you can pick him up for between 5 and 8 million quid. He's a fairly consistent performer and would likely get a work permit, which is key for these South American players, especially if you're playing in England like I normally do. Julian Alvarez next, one of the best players on the list in my opinion. First touch 16, finishing 14, flair 17, off the ball 15, can play anywhere up front. 21-year-old Argentinian with amazing stats. Pick him up for between 1 and 5 million quid. He's likely to get a work permit here in England, which is music to your ears, I'm sure. Fairly consistent performer as well. Get him into your sides. That is a bargain. Wilfred Gnonto next, dribbling 14, finishing 12, first touch 12 as well. He's only 17, so give him a chance. Look how fast he is. Acceleration 16, natural fitness 17, and pace of 15. He's going to be good, ladies and gentlemen. Available for less than 8 million quid. He's a fairly consistent performer and has a balanced and normal personality. Tyrosine Raiso, probably not a hidden gem to most of you watching, depending on how much Football Manager you've played in the last few years. But definitely a very, very good prospect, right? Still only 18 years old, heading 16. He's 5'10", but he's got first touch 14, finishing 14. Here in the save, aggression 15, acceleration 15. He's going to score goals, right? He's going to score lots and lots of goals. My scout tells me he is a fairly consistent performer and has a balanced and normal personality. Lautaro Ovando next up front. An 18-year-old Argentinian, 13 dribbling, 13 finishing, 13 long shots and 13 heading as well. Imagine all those going up to 16. Imagine how amazing he's going to look, right, when he's older. 5'8", but he's got a jumping reach of 12 and heading of 13, which is really cool, right? Looking at the scout report, my scout tells me he's a fairly consistent performer. What a hero. You can pick him up for between 3 and 6 million pounds. That is it for today, guys. Let me just show you the full list in full. Hopefully we got every single player there. Yeah, every single player on the screen for you. 24 of them. Feel free to pause the video, go and search them in your saves. That's what it's all about, right? If you've enjoyed the content, please hit the like button. If you'd like to see more from me, I've got my own channel. I'll link it up there. It's called FM Wonder Kids. We do videos exactly like this all the time. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.